All right, football fans, it is time to go to the X-Files for the Maxx Crosby conspiracy. First off, if this is your first time here, please do us a favor and subscribe to our channel. Like this video. We are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the NFL draft. Thank you for your participation. Nika.
Yes.
Have you heard? Maxx Crosby is back on the Raiders. This all broke on like Tuesday evening. And then we spent all day yesterday like taking in all these stories and everyone's reactions to it all, including our own. Like, we reacted to it immediately when it happened on Tuesday night. We just happened to have the cameras out, luckily. So we're like, yeah, hell yeah, we'll talk about this. But yesterday I was more taking in other people's reactions to it all and trying to make sense of like what was going to happen next. And in the midst of all my exploring, I came across a thread from Jim Coventry at Jim Coventry NFL on X. And he posted a thread about the Maxx Crosby situation with the Ravens. And at that point, it had also included Trey Hendrickson, who signed with the Ravens that morning. And
conspiracy deepens.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of opinions out there, of course, and people feel like the Ravens are looking very either dirty in this situation or they really didn't do anything wrong. They found an injury beyond what they were comfortable with Maxx Crosby.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, Jim Coventry had a different take on all of this. I got my tinfoil hat on. I am ready to go down this rabbit hole and enjoy this conspiracy theory. Are you ready, Nika?
Yes, please.
All right, here it is. Jim Coventry. The Ravens just fleeced the entire NFL and nobody realizes it yet.
Okay.
This is the smartest sequence of moves I've ever seen a front office pull off. Thread. This got my attention a little bit because of the whole nobody realizes it yet. And I think there were already whispers like, when did the Ravens know that they were going to pivot? And when did everyone else find out, including Maxx Crosby and the rest of the NFL?
Okay.
And, it started to leak out that Trey Hendrickson was actually in the building at the same time as Maxx Crosby was with his whole family.
Ooh, collusion.
Well,
we don't know.
We don't know. So he puts out there a play-by-play of what happened. Okay. Step 1, you trade 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. The internet celebrates you, which they did. They were like, oh my gosh, the Ravens, a team that's never once in their history spent a first-round draft pick in a trade, just spent 2 of them to get Maxx Crosby.
Okay.
Bravo, Ravens. Someone paid up. Like the insiders love this shit.
Sure, of course.
They love when all these names that they put into the trade universe actually get traded.
Okay.
So the internet did celebrate. Step 2, back out of the Crosby trade entirely. That came 72 hours later and some change. Tuesday night, Friday. When did they announce this? Friday evening. It was Friday evening. So it was about 72 hours. They held on to Maxx Crosby from Friday to Saturday, Saturday to Sunday, and Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday. So quite a while.
Yes.
All right, so then the internet panics when Maxx Crosby gets traded because it's like, now what is happening? What, is he really hurt? Like, is he damaged goods? Is he going to be available again? Is my team going to be able to get him? The Chicago Bears? Are we back in play? Like, what's going on? We were supposedly close.
Yeah.
Step 3, the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson, 4 years, $119 million total dollars with incentives included, and keep both of their first-round draft picks. Hendrickson versus Crosby as pass rushers is essentially a wash. Hendrickson has the 3rd most sacks in the NFL since 2020 with 74.5. You lose Crosby's elite run defense, but in today's NFL, the pass rush is what wins games and championships.
That's true.
Does seem true. All right, it goes on. The genius is the math. The salary cap is going up every year. Paying Hendrickson's deal while keeping 2 first-round picks gives Baltimore more long-term roster flexibility than trading those picks for Crosby ever would have. Draft capital plus cap space beats star plus no picks. So a couple things I want to just mention here really quickly is while the Ravens had traded their 2 picks to Las Vegas for Maxx Crosby, the Raiders turned around and signed one of their best players, their center, for big money. And they had their picks, and I think they might have started to get cold feet. I think a lot of people around the NFL feel that way. I'm kind of on that side of the fence.
The buyer's remorse.
It also was around the time Monday night when Trey Hendrickson was still not signed. After having a whole day of being able to be signed, no one was rushing to his doorstep being like, knock, 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 I'm ready to pay you your $40 million a year that you so richly want. So I get what he's saying. I think they kind of got wet feet here around this time because they saw like, oh shit, did we overvalue Maxx Crosby? Because there's no market for Trey Hendrickson at $40 million. There's no market for him at $35 million.
Okay, so it's a buyer's remorse at that time.
It seems like they started to get buyer's remorse. Now, Jim takes it a little bit more of a further step here than even that. He says, now here's the part I can't stop thinking about. What if Baltimore traded for Crosby knowing he was recovering from a knee injury? Holding his rights, let them shop free agency with a safety net. If the market was too rich, well, they still had Maxx Crosby. Wow. Can you believe what he's putting out into the universe here? Do you understand what he's saying? Is that they literally traded their 2 first-round picks away for Maxx Crosby, knowing full well that they were never going to go ahead with the trade. That's what he's saying. Like the minute that they made the trade with the Raiders, it was in bad faith. They were never going to go through with it, which is their right because of the legal tampering that the NFL allows. Right.
This is more just talks, People can change their minds, I guess, because of legal tampering. I mean, it's within the law.
I don't understand why it needs to apply to trades either. Because, like, in my view, Maxx Crosby should have been on a plane Saturday morning to Baltimore to take his physical, and all of this could have been sorted out before free agency opened on Monday, right? Theoretically, technically.
No,
I don't understand why this wait, but then because there was a wait, this all happened. And so that's the thought that he's putting out into the universe. He continues, but if a deal with Hendrickson materialized, all the Ravens had to do was have Crosby take a physical he was never going to pass until May. Trade falls through on a failed physical. Picks come back. Hendrickson signs. Ravens get everything they wanted. Checkmate.
Well, that's a good theory.
I have no idea if that's actually what happened. But if it is, the Ravens front office just ran circles around every other team in the league. Either way, Baltimore got an elite pass rusher and kept 2 first-round picks. That's how you build a winner. # trust the tape.
Okay. I don't know if I believe this theory, but it's a plausible theory.
Well, he ends this entire thread by linking another question to the entire thing, asking, am I crazy or did the Ravens plan this from the start? So, Kenikka, that is the question I would like to pose to you first upon hearing his tinfoil hat conspiracy theory.
Okay. Was this malicious? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I think that's what we're saying here. Was this orchestrated from the beginning to at least hold on to Maxx Crosby while the defensive end market materialized and came to fruition?
Wow, that's some conspiracy. But if it's a malicious one, that's not right. That has happened, but I don't think it was. But if it did, they play by the rules too.
Yeah,
it's illegal tampering.
I saw the GM of the Ravens speaking to the media yesterday. I don't remember his name exactly, so apologies, but I felt like he was doing a good job of selling, like, oh, we wanted to have Maxx and Trey, and then Trey Hendrickson even told the media this morning, like, yeah, they were selling me on playing with Maxx and we were going to sign both of us. And
well, how can they afford both of them?
I agree. It seems like crazy talk. I know they lost a lot of players in free agency that are kind of expensive and stuff, but I mean,
to replace them with 2 very expensive players, that's crazy.
At the same position too.
Right.
You know, like, I mean,
why?
You need more than just edge rushing on a football field. There's ways to break it. Well, I think this had any ounce of credibility. I don't know about the GM, but the owner of the Ravens, I definitely think is capable of pulling something like this off. After I saw him speak after they fired John Harbaugh, wow, the brass balls on that guy. I could definitely see him orchestrating something like this behind the scenes with his GM and making it happen.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But for Maxx Crosby's part in all of this, he's now back in Vegas. In fact, he was back in the building yesterday.
He's back on the menu.
And he tweeted out last night, "Everything happens for a reason. Believe nothing you hear and half of what you see. I'm a Raider. I'm back. Run that shit."
All right.
And the Raiders this morning announced that Maxx Crosby is no longer on the trade market at this time.
At this time.
Correct. Do you think he plays another game for the Raiders in his career right now, this year?
This year? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I still think he's going to get traded, actually. Yeah. And I think that he is just in a rough position right now and doing everything he can to probably keep his composure and control the narrative.
Absolutely.
You know, he at least is owning what happened by putting out this message on social media and accepting it. And the Raiders, by putting out that statement this morning, I think have said thanks but no thanks to the offers that probably came in after he got sent back to them, and that they didn't get the first 2 first-round picks that they were hoping for now, and that their plans have now changed.
Exactly, because they want to get the maximum price for Max. Therefore, they're going to wait him out. He's going to wait till May, have another physical, and that's when the dealing might start. After the draft.
I think you're right. You know, like, there's going to be a second and third wave of free agency as we get closer to the draft and more players signing, and then teams will all draft and go through that process, and probably be some more wheeling and dealing going on. And I think maybe, though, after the draft is when a team finally says, "Hey, we didn't get the edge rusher we need." Chicago Bears, baby.
Right.
We didn't get the edge rusher that we need, and we're pretty much a Super Bowl team, and we need one.
Yeah.
What can we give you for Raiders? Like, you know.
It might be a different conversation at that point.
Well, and Max might be further along in his will be further along in his recovery, about 2 months further along. So we'll have to see how he looks and feels.
Yes.
That leads up into my last question then.
Okay.
Do you think the Bears got screwed by the Ravens in this whole situation, or did they dodge a bullet by not trading for Maxx Crosby only to have their doctors find all this pre-arthritis in his knee or whatever that supposedly exists? What do you think?
I don't know. They might have dodged the bullet, but at the same time, are they going to go after him again? You know, it's unknown at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess everybody that was in talks to trade for Maxx Crosby was talking to his doctor that did the surgery beforehand. So I don't think anyone could have possibly been blindsided by the fact that he wasn't going to pass a physical.
Right.
So
that even more.
The Ravens taking it to the next level, though, and saying, like, well, we found more
issues with his knee
than what was communicated to us, is how they're using it to get out of the whole thing. And yet, I think that feeling persists. I think there's thoughts among some in the NFL that, like, other teams' doctors looked at Maxx Crosby. They got a second opinion from the Cowboys doctor of all teams, who were also in on trading for him. And as soon as Max got sent back, the Cowboys were like, "We're out."
See, that
and
just
so
tells
it
you
just
something.
It just makes you wonder: is there really something truly wrong with that knee? And you know,
how long is he gonna be able to play on that knee? Few games and then gonna get re-injured?
He might be the angriest son of a bitch this year on the field if he ever makes it out there again. Well, I'm sure he will. But at the same time, is he gonna go balls to the wall to prove himself all over again to the world and maybe make it worse later on again? So I don't know. I'm more thinking the Bears throughout this whole situation maybe dodged a bullet. I don't know if Maxx Crosby's reputation would have gotten smeared if he would have gotten traded to the Bears in the first place, because maybe their doctors don't see the situation the same way, at least.
Okay, fair enough. But also, when you're taking a flyer on a guy like that, because you don't know if he's gonna re-injure this knee or not. He's in the process of recovery.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what kind of Maxx Crosby you're gonna get at the end of this.
You don't.
So dodging the bullet, it might be the right way to look at it for the Bears.
At this point, I kind of feel like I'm over the whole Maxx Crosby situation. It's just become too dramatic for my liking. You know?
You're right.
I don't need all of this like
Drama,
back and
build
forth.
up.
Is he hurt? Is he have arthritis? Is he damaged goods? I don't need it. I think the Bears should move on politely.
Also, knowing about his injury, is his value going down because of it?
Well, that's what I mean, and will the Raiders ever get what they truly wanted for him?
Exactly.
I don't think so. All right, let us know what you think in the comments below. Are you buying into the tinfoil hat theory that the Ravens traded for Maxx Crosby and had no intention of ever keeping him and just held on to him to set the defensive end market and see where it landed?